Hello and welcome, friends. In this video, I will be helping my teenage daughter clean her room. It had reached an overwhelming status, and she just needed a little help here. I knew it was getting bad, but when we walked in here to get started, I was like, oh, there is just a lot of stuff going on. We have nightstands that are overflowing, a dresser that's cluttered with past trinkets and gifts. Clothes were scattered all over the floor, and her desk has been sitting here for over a year, completely unused. Now, before you go judging her, please know she is a grade 9 student, so she is 14 going on 15 this year, and she has a lot of extracurricular activities. She's also very sentimental, and so things are important to her, and it's a little harder for her to let things go. So we started this process by removing some of the big stuff so that we could clear up the floor. She had a stool in there, a chair, some luggage sets, and that just helped so that we could move things around and really start to see what was going on.
It's a vlog. We're vlogging.
It's the year. Wait, no. I don't know what he said.
Yeah, doesn't he?
Everybody
It's
does it
2024.
We're vlogging.
We're vlogging.
Nice to be watched. Woohoo! Woohoo! Look at us go.
Exactly.
Just gonna. Okay. I know that these are already dirty, actually. I don't need to put that. Bogot. Okay, these are dirty clothes. Mom, good news. As I was putting some of the things like in that pile that I'm gonna take to the living room because they're clean and stuff. Well, cleanish. They don't smell. I'm already like, okay, I don't wear them.
Do you need more baskets? Like for your drawers?
Yeah.
Then we decided it would be best to remove all of the clothes from the room. Most of them were on the floor anyways. And she was going to take them into the living room area and start sorting through them. That was going to be her job because she had to figure out what fit, what she wanted to wear, all that kind of stuff. And so we're hauling out all the clothes in baskets and drawers. Can you believe we made it to 5 baskets and 5 drawers? And one of those totes also has clothes in it. That's a lot of clothes.
Hello, friends. We are here in my daughter's room. She is 14 going on 15. And it's time to kind of get rid of some of the things in her room, some of the little chapter books that are, that she's outgrown, some clothes that she's outgrown. So what we did first was we took out all of her clothes for her. She emptied out all her clothes, she put them in the living room, and she's going to go through those while I clean this room. So I'm going to be going through the shelves, through her empty dresser drawers, cleaning those. She's got a little nightstand. We have a bigger nightstand that we want to put here. Well, it's like a set of drawers, but it's bigger, and so it'll be nicer, so I need to bring that in here. We're going to pull the bed away, vacuum under the floor, just all that good stuff, So let's get started. So I recently got her some of these little tote things that we can use to put little things in, because we thought that they might be helpful for sorting things, so these can go in there and divide this big box out. So let's see what we can do. So I'm going to start organizing this stuff and see what we actually have. So anything craft related, I'll put it in one pile.
So I just took the stuff off of the dresser and started to make piles. She had things that were like craft related. She has like paint pens and markers and little crafts that she'd gotten for Christmas but hadn't used yet. She also has a lot of like notes and drawings on her dresser. She is a very talented sketch artist, and so she loves to sketch and to draw. So there was quite a few little drawings on her desk. Now, I was not worried about going through her papers. That wasn't going to be something that I was going to be sorting. So I was just trying to gather them up. If there's anything that looked like garbage, then I would toss it. But most of it was stuff that I just kept because it had either writing or some kind of sketch on it. And it wasn't garbage. So she needed to go through that kind of stuff on her own. I was feeling a little overwhelmed myself, even just sorting the stuff. Like, what do you pick up first? So you notice sometimes I pick something up and I put it back down. But I needed to get these calendars out. There were some old calendars. Well, I didn't get them out. I put them in a pile for her to go through. She had some toys on her dresser, and so I was just trying to see, like, if these containers actually had the little toy things in them or what was actually there. And I was gathering up the toys, all the little trinket things, and putting them in their own pile because I wanted her to go through that stuff because it was a little more sentimental, and so she needed to process that stuff on her own. When she was growing up, the slime era was kind of at its height, right? Everybody was all excited about that. So she does have quite a few like little clays, slimes, the silly putties, because that was all kind of trending as she was getting older. When she was younger, she wanted glasses, and so she bought these. They're probably way too small for her now, so I have to ask her if she wants to keep those or not. She had 4 of these little box things on her dresser. One of them had little notes in it, one had coupons, and one was like little trinkety things like keys, a little seashell, like that kind of stuff. So I just gathered them boxes up and put them together in a pile for her to go through. She had this little cloth bag that my mother-in-law had made, and it was perfect for keeping all the little silly putties in because there was multiple of them. One person need. She wanted to share these glitter tattoos with her little sister, and then these empty pen container things I did throw away. I was so excited last year before Christmas. I found this fashion sketchbook for her, and it wasn't like the stick figured women. It was like real women bodies that were curvy, which was like amazing. So I was very excited about that. I think she did decide to get rid of this little notebook box. It's on her dresser still, but it has just like little coloring paper things in it and notepads and stickers, and she was going to give that to her little sister too. I told her, why don't you hang on to some of those little things and you can give it to her for her birthday, which is coming up here in a few weeks.
Get a cool rock.
There is something so satisfying after cleaning a flat surface of getting it dusted and wiped clean. It just feels like so nice and fresh, and you feel like I'm ready to start again. My goal here is not to shame or criticize my family or myself for not being able to keep our house clean. We work, we're busy at school, we don't all have time to clean. And you know what? I don't think most people do. And so my goal here is just to motivate people to help them see that, like, oh hey, maybe I could get a dresser cleaned off and it only takes me 5 or 10 minutes. Like, just to realize that, like, tackling those little chores, it adds up eventually, and then your room and your home will be cleaner because you're spending time with it. We just added this dresser to her room in the spring, and it wasn't really that dirty. It was dusty on top there, but like the inside had like a few little dirt crumbs things, but it wasn't that bad. But I did feel like, let's just get it all vacuumed. And she was especially wanting to get like the underside of things vacuumed, the underside of the dresser and behind the dresser and the bed. And so I did spend time to do those kind of things. As I was pulling this dresser out, I was like, oh man, this is when I should be wearing shoes because I'm going to lose a toe here.
Okay, let's put these over here.
To help keep the floor a little cleaner so we could actually walk around, I needed to put a few things back on the dresser that I knew we would be keeping. As I was bringing things up from the floor, I was trying to keep it in a mostly orderly fashion. I tried to keep the craft supplies together, markers, the pens. She had quite a few journals, and I found that the wider box fit those quite nicely. I divided it into 3 sections, so that kind of wasn't all just slumped in there. She also had her art and her sketches I put in the other box, and that was very handy for getting all that collected and out of the way. And then also just regular books. There were some books, that little Mad Lib books. I put those all together, and I put that in the back of the wider one where the journals are right now, but eventually I do pull those out and put them on the bookshelf. I am so excited about this little collection that I've made, the gathering up of everything, and so now she can actually go through it on a day when she's supposed to be cleaning her room. That could be one thing she does for an extra 10 minutes, just going through stuff that she already has. I wanted to see what she had in this box, and it was mostly craft or kind of little toy things, but mostly crafts from like birthdays and Christmas, and they just kind of had gathered here and gotten forgotten because she's a busy young lady. And so I cleaned it all out, and it was full of dust bunnies. And so I had to use the vacuum to get it all clean before I put anything back in there. This was my sign that I needed to schedule in a little bit more time with my kids to actually do the things that we give them. So if they are given a craft for Christmas or their birthday, then maybe we could spend a little time over the next couple weeks actually doing that craft so that it gets used and it doesn't just collect dust in their room. See, check out that box. Little dust bunnies, little bits of paper. So, I'm gonna vacuum it out so I can use it again. Every once in a while, I'll give you a little progress update of how my daughter was doing on the clothes. So we went in and checked in. She's got some piles made, and she is making progress.
Okay, so I talked to my daughter. We're gonna put all of her craft things that I find in here, and we're probably gonna take it upstairs to the office so that it's out of her room, because she doesn't actually craft in here. She's usually upstairs on the table if she does anything, so it makes more sense. She was just keeping it in here so that the little kids didn't get into it. So we will just find a higher shelf to put it on in the office, and then that way she has her own space, and that should work good. So
I thought this was a good idea to gather up all the craft things, put them all here in this box, put them in the office, and then that way you can get it out of her room and off of her dresser, and then she can actually have usable space.
that would help a lot, actually. So let's just get started here.
This year I've been trying to do a low by year and not purchase things that are just extra and that we already own. And so this was a good reminder to me that maybe I don't need to buy any more craft supplies for my daughter. Maybe supporting things could be purchased, like special containers for papers, or like the really cool ones that have little snap closures. That would be kind of nice, maybe, or something like that. But she doesn't need any more pens or markers, and she has paints from like last year that we haven't even used. So it was just a good reminder that I can just take a break from buying those kind of things until we use them up. Also, I am thinking of implementing a special day during the month where we can sit down and do crafts. Recently, I had my 4-year-old find googly eyes in the office, and she got so excited about these googly eyes, and these, they were craft sticks, and she made little people out of them. And it was a good reminder that I needed to actually sit down and do crafts with them, let them be more creative, and let's get off of screens.
I actually think I'm going to keep this one here because this is like pens that she can use for journaling if she wants. So, those ones in here. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So let's craft things.
I was determined to move this bed by myself, and I did. I moved it away from the wall by myself, but I did not get it back by myself. My husband helped me. But I remember as a youth redecorating my room multiple times, but not redecorating, but more just moving the bed around, moving the dresser around. But my kids don't do that very much, and it's probably because their dressers are in the wall with their hanging stuff, and their beds are bigger and stuff. So anyways, I just had a little twin when I was growing up, but they've got queen size beds because we just had hand-me-downs of beds that they are using. We're not buying them queen size beds. Okay, friends, enjoy this 2-minute vacuum montage. I am going to be silent, and I encourage you to go get something done quickly. I find it so satisfying to vacuum up all those little dust bunnies under the bed. The headboard is one of those places that you never think to dust, but it was collecting a little bit of dust up there. She'd had this bed given to her probably about 1.5 years ago, and it's very nice. It has this nice headboard. Most of our other beds do not have headboards because I'm too cheap. In the living room, my daughter was sorting her clothes into the drawers that she wanted them to end up being in, and she was going through them, and she was doing a great job. Okay, so now I'm cleaning off the desk that's in her room. I have some books that I put up, and there's a box here for earbuds that she got for Christmas last year. I think she was just worried about throwing away the box. And then I found a bag of rocks. We are a rock-loving family. I don't know if anybody else has this weird obsession with rocks, but if I see a cool rock, I pick it up, and I've inherited it. My children have inherited that trait.
Full of rocks.
I just decided a good place to store them was on her window ledge until she had time to go through them herself. I really need to get her dresser cleaned off, or her shelves cleaned off, because some of this stuff could live on the shelves. Like, she's got headphones here, and her swim goggles, and replacement bands for her watch, and just little things like that they just need a little basket or cubby or something on her shelf, and then it's just her little things that could live there. Yes, that was another rock. Just stuck that on the window ledge too. So now I'm going to tackle this little pile of things. There's a birthday card here. There's a little do-a-tang thing with some papers in it, a binder, a few sketchbooks and how-to sketchbooks, and then a few real books that I'm just going to put here on her dresser. That's not a dresser. It's a shelf. Putting on her shelf. She loves to read, and so she has lots of books here, and they're just kind of scattered throughout her room, but that's okay. I would prefer my kids to be reading to doing other things, and we do live out of town, and so it is difficult to get out with friends and stuff. So then, it means that she has just a little bit more time to read than maybe some other people do. These 2 wine glasses are from my parents' house, and during the 1988 Olympics was here up in Calgary, and that is where they're from, and so my parents have a whole set of them. But we don't even drink alcohol, but the kids think it's fun because they're just a fun shape. In this clothing update, we can see a large pile of clothes next to the mirror that she wants to try on to make sure she still wants or doesn't want. And she's, figured out which ones she wants to go in which drawers, and she's really narrowing things down. I was really proud of how hard she was working at getting the clothes that she really loved sorted out. And then we moved out the desk from her room, and we put the mirror on the back of her dresser, so things look a little bit different in here.
Okay, my husband was nice enough to put on the mirror, and they brought down a little shelf for the nightstand, and I am just detangling some of these necklaces. They are a little, tangled. They're tangled. Okay, so anyways, we are making progress. My daughter is in the living room. She is sorting out all her clothes, and I am working on here. I got that. We did take the other desk out of here as well. She just found that she wasn't using it, and so she was gonna try not having the desk for a little while and then seeing what that was like and if she missed it or not. So we're experimenting. That's the important part. We're not forcing her to get rid of anything.
and we're just trying to create more space for her. So, yay, I got one.
I did it. Okay, I got all those. So now I'm going to make her go through this little pile of things. I think what I'm going to do now is actually this little area here. So she had these two little bins here, a blue one and a gray one. The gray one had mostly like things that belonged in the bathroom, hair things, and so I pulled everything out so that I could sort through it. And then I was kind of like, what am I going to do? And then I was like, well, I'm just going to put it back in the gray box and then it can go to the bathroom. So that's what I did. I started putting the bathroom things back into the gray box.
Okay.
I have to apologize because this shot you guys can't really see very much. But yeah, the floor was covered with like little hair things. So I was just gathering them up, putting them in the gray container. And then while I was sitting there, I was like, I'm going to pick up some of these papers and little note things and put them over by the dresser where I put the other journal things. I just tossed her slippers up onto her bed for now just to get them out of the way. And then moved the papers over onto the dresser. And while I was over there kind of tucking things in, and I was like, I'm going to take these ones out of the room. I don't think we need these ones. These brown sketchbooks that I'm holding, she has filled completely. And that's like one of her hobbies, is to just kind of sit and sketch and draw out like little scenes from books or movies. And it's just so fun to see her be creative and to use her imagination for things. Then I decided to use this little purple cubby to hold her makeup that she uses on the daily basis that she does in her bedroom. Their bathroom, she shares a bathroom with her brothers, and so it's just nice to have a little space for just your own stuff sometimes. She does have a lot of things in the bathroom, but this was just usually where she does her hair and her makeup when she's getting ready. Oh, and lip balms. Any kind of lip chap, lip balm kind of thing I found, I put into this little cubby. So now, like those are just one of those things. It's socks, mittens, lip balms. Those are all the kind of things that just magically get lost and you can never find one when you need one. Last year, my daughter hurt her knee. The floor was wet, she slipped, and she hit her knee on, like, our mudroom bench thing, and it, like, pushed her kneecap out of the way. Poor girl. It just, like, it hurt so much. So now she usually uses a knee brace or a knee wrap if she's doing anything kind of strenuous with her legs. We are working at, like, strengthening her legs so that she feels more comfortable, because sometimes her ligaments are a little loose now, and then she has some pain. She slips a little bit more than she used to, and so it's just one of those things. You really got to take care of your body, especially at a young age, because as you get older, it just gets worse. She also had 101 cough drops here, which she was like, oh, should we just throw those away? And I was like, well, no, because cough drops, they don't really go bad, and they've only been here for like a month or two. And so I was like, you just save these for the winter, and then when you're sleeping, you can pop one in your mouth. Well, not while you're sleeping, but before you go to bed. Also, here's a frugal tip for you. If you have a little cord for something, you can use a hair elastic to wrap around it and keep it all snug. I do that all the time. I asked my daughter to come into the room and help me sort through her jewelry. I wanted to get the jewelry off of the lampshade, and so I wanted her to first go through her jewelry box and really see what does she actually want to keep or wear. I thought this was a pretty genius use of a lampshade to just kind of slip your
necklaces over, but she was finding that they got tangled quite often, like earlier when I was detangling her necklaces, and so we needed a new solution. All right, we made some serious progress with necklaces and things. We've got a little pile for younger sister. We've got the necklaces that she wears all the time here, and we're gonna get a tack board to put them on so that she can hang them all up individually and then they don't get all tangled into a big mess. So I have this tack board that I've had for a very long time, and we only use it at Christmas time for our Christmas countdown. And I was like, maybe we can do something different for the Christmas countdown, because this would be perfect for hanging your necklaces on, your little keychains, all those kind of things that she just needed a space for them. And so, yeah, I think it turned out really cute and it worked really well. She wears necklaces almost every day, just one of her little necklaces, and so it was worth it to keep them all, or the ones that she actually wore, and to put them out on display so she can quickly grab them and get ready faster. This top drawer had a couple of books, a lot of little papers. Does anybody else's teenage daughter have like a million little paper notes? It also had a couple of DVD sets and bookmarks and flashlight and just like a bunch of little random things. The second drawer had a bunch of crayons, pencils, markers, scissors, pencil sharpener, all those kind of things, as well as 2 sketchbooks at the bottom. And then, since we have 1,000,001 crayons at our house, I threw away all of the broken things. I know there are some crayon melting kind of craft things that you could do with broken crayons, but I just don't have time right now, and we have lots of other craft supplies that we found and we need to use. And then I just sorted out the rest of the pencils, the markers, the pens, the pencil sharpeners, and the scissors, just to separate them all so that it was easier to find when we needed them. I could have probably thrown most of it away, but I didn't. I just threw the crayons away. They're kind of an eclectic bunch, but maybe we'll go through them again at some point in time and get rid of a few more. Okay, right now I'm emptying this little plastic tote. We're going to put it beside her dresser, and it's going to have all the journals and pens that she wants to keep in her room. It will just keep it in this little thing, and then that way we can clean out the books and the extra stuff, and she can put all like her little journaly paper things down in here, and then it's somewhere safe. Now you'll notice as I'm cleaning out this drawer that I pull out a big life journal. I got both my older daughter and my youngest son big life journals for Christmas last year. Have they used them? No, I don't think they have. I think it's one of those things that you kind of have to like encourage them to do, to like build the habit maybe together or something, and we just haven't done it. And so yeah, their journals just sit there taking up space. But I do really love the idea of the big life journal and just helping your kids with anxiety and stress and things. We just need to do it. Right now I've just made a pile of her note things, and then she can go through them at a different time. And I've put like crafty sketchbook things and notes in here, more journals that she's using right now. These are all past sketchbooks that she has filled, and some that she's like doing right now. So those will be what's going in the little white tote shelf thing. I just have to clean off the top of it first.
First, I gathered up all of her keychains, and I was going to hang them on the pegboard with the necklaces. And who loves this fidget spinner. It is the Golden Snitch from Harry Potter. Some of the other treasures I found on her nightstand and this little plastic set of drawers was Tic Tacs, a piece of metal that I don't know where it came from, a rock, tiny notes, earplugs, a die, and some Lego, perfume bottle, a little ribbon, her watch, some hair ties, more notes, large perfume bottles, and some stickers. Now, what I should have done with this little plastic set of drawers was to take it into the shower and shower it right off, because it was like very dusty, dirty. But I just decided to be stubborn and use a wipe and just quickly wipe it off. We have a couple of these little plastic drawers, I think in a couple of the bedrooms, and I just find them so handy. They just are small, they're lightweight, they're cheap, and they hold things in a space so that they don't fly all around your room.
We have been going strong since like 11 a.m. It's 4:17 right now, so we're both feeling a little petered out, my daughter and I, and so we're gonna keep going because it's a holiday Monday and tomorrow she has school, and we really want to get it cleaned up today so it's done. She doesn't have to worry about it, and so we're gonna keep going. But I am tired. I'm not sure how many shelves I'm gonna get to here around her dresser, but at least if we can get the rest of this stuff cleaned up and then she's doing her clothes, that'll be like a huge improvement, and then we can get to those shelves another day.
So right now I am just gathering up her journals, her sketchbooks, and her notes. And I'm going to put them in the small plastic set of shelves that I just cleaned out. I really like this idea because she mostly had journals and sketchbooks and notes in this tote or this little shelf thing already. And so this just gives it like a little freshening up, and just putting all of the journals that she's already used or that she hasn't used yet in there, and then that way she can just have the ones out that she's using, and just kind of clears things up and just makes it a little bit more streamlined for her. I was feeling a little overwhelmed by the number of journals and sketchbooks, but I ultimately decided I'm just going to let her sort through them, and I would just be putting them in there just to kind of get them out of the way. And then I turned towards the large pile of notes, and I was like, I need to be able to like contain these in some way. So I had a little plastic baggie, and I started to sort through them and putting like the small tiny notes into the baggie because I didn't want to throw any of them away, because those are kind of fun to look back on. I have some from when I was in high school and junior high, and it's just fun to like see little notes from your friends and the dumb little jokes that you made and all those kind of things. So I'm putting paper notes and used sketchbooks in the bottom drawer, and then in the middle drawer I'm going to collect all the journals that either she hasn't used or she's already used up, and just kind of collect them all into the middle drawer. And then in the top drawer I'm going to be putting pens and markers, those kind of things that she uses to journal with, in the top drawer. I started keeping journals around 8 years old, and while I haven't been super great at it the last couple of years, I usually fill in at least a few journal entries throughout the year, and she seems to have inherited this urge to write. I actually find it easier to write out my thoughts rather than to speak. And YouTube has been really good for me to work on my speaking skills and to just get my thoughts out in visually creative ways. So I have to thank you guys for helping me grow and challenging me in new ways. So here I am now, just gathering up all the pens, the markers, the pencil, crayons, those kind of things that both that was on the dresser as well as over on the floor and in this white plastic thing before I emptied it out that I sorted through. And so just gathering those up, putting them in this top drawer, and then that way the journals, the pens, the memories are all here in this one little spot. And then I found this little red pencil case and I was like, this will be perfect. Now we can contain them even better. After my daughter reads a series of books, she sometimes is a little bit extra creative and her mind wants to go off on like the little story spins and what are they called? Fan fiction kind of things, right? And so, so she's got like the Harry Potter spell book and some little wooden wands that she made. And when she read the Ranger's Apprentice books, then she wanted a cape and wanted to be a cool person to protect the king kind of thing. Anyways, those were like obviously a little while ago. She hasn't been pretending as much now that she's older, but it was so fun to see her be young and be creative and to just pursue those little passions that she was feeling. So I just put those things off to the side just in case she wanted to maybe store them somewhere, or if she still wanted to use them, then that's cool too. And then I'm cleaning out underneath the nightstand. There was just like a few more stickers. There was a little sewing kit and just a few more notes. Hooray, got that done. Time to move out this old nightstand, get the floor vacuumed, and move in the new one. And for the clothing update, she has clothes folded in drawers now that I'm able to take back to the bedroom. And she has the pile of try-ons is still here. It just got toppled when they moved the mirror. Okay, now I'm wondering if this is maybe too long this way.
Does that make it impractical? I don't know.
I was a little disappointed that the drawers stuck out so far. I should have known better, but so I turned them because I felt like that was a better surface. I didn't want it to be too long and get in the way if she rolled out of bed kind of thing. And so I was like, oh, well, I guess if she needs to get into her drawers, she has to get out of bed to do it, but that's okay. At least they're a little bigger than the other ones were. And yeah, I think it just looks nicer, brings things up a little higher so it's more level with her bed. And I'm still pretty happy with it. I'm laughing at myself because I was wiping the wall and then I was like, never mind, that's for a whole nother video that needs to be done. So she had a couple of drawers that were ready to move back in, so I am carefully trying to put them back into the dresser without dropping them. Again, I'm not wearing shoes, and maybe I should be for this kind of activity where something large might fall on my feet. Then she had two of these little white drawers that were ready, and so I needed to vacuum around this dresser because I forgot to do that earlier. This next section is the dance of the doors. I'm bringing drawers in that are full of clothes and taking out the one that is empty and just kind of back and forth a little bit here. It's just like so exciting to see clothes fitting here. It's been a little while since we've gone through all of her clothes, and you could tell there's a very large pile of donations at the very end that you'll see, and it's just so exciting to see it all coming together. Okay, now onto these little trinkets that are on the floor. I need to get them cleaned up so that I can finish vacuuming the floor. And like I said before, I didn't want to go through them myself. This is more sentimental stuff that I need my daughter to go through on her own. And so I'm just putting them all into the tote, and then at a later date, I'll help her go through them if she wants, or she can go through them on her own and figure out what she wants to keep, what she wants to give away or give to her little sister. And yeah, and then that way she can get it all cleaned up. For Christmas 2 years ago, I gave her some LED lights that you stick on your wall, and so I've got those on. So if you're wondering why the multicolor light flashing things are going on, that is what's happening. I was just making sure that they all worked, and then I forgot that I had them on.
I would love to say that we are almost done, but we're not really. I mean, we're getting closer, but yeah. So I'm gonna go through this box and see if there's something in here that we can maybe get rid of. Okay, that's broken. Craft supplies, a ding. Book, craft supplies, game that's broken. I'm just gonna get rid of this. Okay. There. Now we just have a dusty box. That's fine. Okay.
At this point, she didn't want to come in her room because she wanted it to be a little bit of a surprise, and so she just piled her clothes outside the door, and so I'm just bringing in her clothes that we need to hang, as well as a couple more drawers. Well, there's one drawer, and then there was a basket she had of folded hoodies and stuff that I'm going to put into the top drawers of the bigger dresser. Where do you keep your hoodies and sweatshirts? She had some of them that were on hangers, and these ones were meant to be hung, but I had room in the dresser, so I was like, well, I'm just going to put these in the dresser, and then she can move them if she wants later. Just trying to, like, tidy up the room, get it ready to go. But I was curious, do you hang your sweaters? Do you fold them? What happens? I do think that these hoodies are too big for these tiny drawers, but I was just kind of curious and just trying to get them put away so that I could clean up the room and we could get this finished. We are getting much closer to being done. I am going to show you another 4-minute montage of vacuuming the floor, and just going to let the vacuum do its thing and pause talking for just a few minutes.
In case you thought the floor was clean, that's what the vacuum picked up.
This is where the clothing update is now. She has a pile of clothes next to the couch that are for donation. She is still trying on a few, and she was laying some out so she could take a picture because she liked them and she wanted to rebuy something similar. So while she was busy doing the clothes, I was in here making the bed. So I took off all of her stuffies, pillow things, and then I got the bed sheet out, started tucking it around, and just watch what happens.
Yes, Mom. I hope I never see you too.
Yes, I did put the sheet on the wrong way. And so I had to take it off and re-stuff it in there and start over.
I'll go help you, please, Mom. No. Yes. Look at those boots. Hey. Whoa. But. They're big for me. And that one can live for me.
My mother-in-law made this beautiful quilt for her a few years ago, and it was when she was sleeping in a twin-size bed, so that's why it's a little smaller than her bed, which is okay, because she's the only one sleeping in this bed, so not a big deal. And then we wanted to try taking this big poster picture down of Minnie Mouse. I had it in my room when I was a teenager, and I was like, you don't have to keep that if you don't want to, but she's like too nice to say that, so I was like, let's just take it down for a minute and see what it looks like.
We did it. I'm pretty happy with how everything turned out. I turned on her LED lights and I'm gonna go get her and surprise her. So I haven't done the shelves over by the bookcase yet, but that'll be for another video.
So this is what her room used to look like, a little cluttered. We had a lot of things in here, lots of clothes that weren't even hanging up, were in her drawers. We ran out of time to do the shelves, but we spent about 8-9 hours doing this project, and so we were a little tuckered out. We needed to stop. And this is after we were done. It is so lovely and peaceful. Things just look calmer. You get that calmer feeling from her room, which is what I was going for. She's busy studying for tests and things, and so she just does not have time to take care of her room right now, and just wanted to make it simpler. We will go through these shelves either together on a video or on our own sometime. But yeah, we'll get those shelves done. She was very excited about the tack board, having it as a necklace holder, that she could just get ready a lot faster in the mornings, which that's a big deal. She can be a little slow. Thoughtful. We'll say thoughtful. Then those little plastic shelves, all for the journaling memory kind of sketchbooks sort of things, pens, her dresser just looking so much more streamlined than it was. Yeah, it just feels so good. Her bed is all made. We cleaned underneath of it, and that was a big deal for her. And then the new nightstand that she can reach from her bed. Just so excited.
I knew I was your favorite.
Oh, are you okay?
Just kidding.
Whoa.
I know you're so tall and you can reach it, but please keep it off.
Together.
So these were all the things that we took out of her room, that little nightstand, the boxes of craft things. We're not donating those, all those clothes. So exciting.
Hey guys, let's have a little debrief while I fill this bag. I was shocked she let this one go. That's okay, because it's just a thing, right? They are just clothes. They are not the actual memories that you have with the clothes. And so it's okay. It's okay to let them go. I knew I had to get this out of here tonight because either she or I was going to start digging around and picking things out. And it was okay. We had already made our decisions, and it was clothes that we hadn't, like they hadn't worn for either months or even years. And I know that by getting rid of it, it makes our house easier to clean. It also just keeps things more peaceful. Someone else can love these clothes just like we have. Also super surprised she's getting rid of this. It took a long time for me to convince her, even though she's been outgrown it for like years. So donating stuff, it isn't easy. It's hard. Like I am walking up the stairs with these bags and I'm like, is this right? Did we make the right decision? But almost always, it is like, you know, you think about the things maybe sometimes that you've donated, but do you really need them? I haven't. So I don't think there's been anything that I can think of that I've really regretted donating. I think one of the harder parts about donating things is just that accepting the fact that, especially as a parent, your child is growing up, they're growing out of things, and I've kept some things. Like I have a tote of baby stuff that I'm letting myself keep, and hopefully I can give some of it to like my kids when they have kids. But if they don't want it, then, you know, whatever, I guess. I have room to store it, so I'm letting myself have that little box. And we're keeping some of my older daughter's stuff for my younger daughter, but not a lot of it because honestly there's 11 years in between them. I think it's 11. And so, you know, by the time that she gets to be 12, 13, when she'd be fitting into this stuff, like styles and fashions will probably be a little bit different. And you know, we'll ask for hand-me-downs from older cousins who are just a few years older and whatnot, but 10 to 11 years, that's a long time. So we're gonna let it go. And yeah, we have a couple things, but not a lot. So I think that's an important reminder, just to set a boundary for yourself and just remember that it's just a thing. The people are more important, like my children are way more important. And being able to get rid of clutter gives me more time to spend with my family. And that is my goal this year. I just been trying so hard to release things so that I can have more time, more energy for the things that really matter. So I hope that this video has helped you guys. And if it has, please subscribe, give this video a like, and I will see you guys in the next one.
Make sure you subscribe because one of the videos coming up soon is going to be me cleaning out my cleaning closet. This place was a disaster. It took me hours to clean. I pulled everything out, washed things off, and then put it back in a much better fashion and donated and got rid of things. So make sure you subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.